one of the guys that get a lot of credit is Steve Blackman from Muscular Development. I mean, those guys have done an extraordinary job for years and years and years to promote health, to promote fitness, to promote strength, to promote bodybuilding, powerlifting, weightlifting, and all of those kind of things. So the contributions they made is gigantic, and I hail them for that.
Hey everybody, welcome to the RONLINE Report. We are just days away from the Arnold Classic in Columbus, Ohio. This man is going to be on stage, one of the biggest, baddest bodybuilders, one of the most underrated pros in the ifbb Pro League today, in my opinion, Akim Wiliams. How are you, Akim?
I'm good, Ron. Nice for having me on, man.
So we'll get this out of the way, and then we can get on to more important matters. I guess there's been a little bit of controversy. Sergio Oliva calling out a couple guys. He called out, I guess he mentioned on another outlet that had he done the Olympia, you and Patrick Moore would not have been in the top 10. We know that you took 9th place in the Olympia and he took 10th. So how would he have forced both of you out of the top 10? My math is not that good.
Well, I mean, I have no idea, like I did the New York Pro with Sergio in 2016, I believe, when he won.
Yep.
And
that's 16? 17.
Yeah, I think it was 2016.
17. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
And backstage, the guy acted like such a nice guy. He came up to me and he basically told me I'm one of the only person that does his father's pose justice, that mitts pose.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
We have to have arms like this for one thing.
But it's funny because even on stage, he told me let's hit the shot together and everything like that. Then the shot went viral, and a few people commented on there and said I hit it better than him. And since after that, he's been really upset about that. I have no idea,
Well, that's his dad's pose. So yeah, that would be my take on it. That's the Sergio pose. It's not the Akim pose.
Ever since then, he's been taking the opportunity to take shots at me whenever he get a chance to do an interview on rails, every time he can get a chance, he always take a shot at me. I have no idea, but I'm not that type of bodybuilder,
Yeah, you're always pretty chill, man. I've never seen. I'm sure you get upset at some things, but I've never really seen you upset. You seem to keep a good handle on your emotions.
Yeah, and plus, if you're gonna take a shot at a man, do it to his face. Don't do it when he's not around or anything like that. But going back to the Olympia.
Yeah.
He made a comment on there saying that somebody like going on points or whatever the case may be. I didn't choose to go in on points. The powers that be told me that, you need to shut it down because, you already have enough points to qualify.
Yeah.
If you notice from last year after the New York Pro, the Puerto Rico Pro was right after that.
Right.
Also, it was Toronto.
Yeah.
Now, John De La Rosa went on to win the Puerto Rico Pro, and in New York Pro, I think he was 4th or 5th or something like that.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I was 2nd in New York. I could have easily. It was a week late. I could have easily went and did that show and qualified.
There were not a lot of people in that Puerto Rico Pro, from what I remember. Small show. Yeah.
But make a long story short, I did my homework. A lot of people don't understand. Like, I'm not the type of bodybuilder to, take a beating and basically take a year off like some other people. I take an ass whipping and I keep competing and I keep coming back and I come back better.
You did a lot of shows. We'll get into that. You did a lot of shows last year.
They take an ass whipping and they run with their tail between their legs and don't compete for a whole year. So
yeah. Well,
he want to talk shit. He's fresh. He had a whole year off, so you better bring him for the honor, man.
I mean, he made a crack about you going into the Olympia on points in 2019.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I didn't even watch it. And
I don't know if I didn't see it, so I don't know if he said that or not. But he went to the 2018 Olympia on points. So
exactly. So
all right, enough about Sergio. You guys are gonna we'll see you both on stage. The best man will win. But 2019 Olympia, that's the last time we saw you on stage, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I mean, you did make the top 10 you've been in the top 10 before at that show, correct? Was that
no? This is my first time cracking the top 10.
Yeah, and you beat some guys that had beat you in recent shows. Patrick, I don't know if Patrick had beat you, but you beat Patrick Moore. You beat Luke Sando, Jonathan De La Rosa. Who's this? Max Charles, Juan Morel. I mean, you beat some bigger names. So I think you're starting to get recognition. You're starting to get noticed. one thing I'm curious, I remember the first time I saw you in the condition that I was like, wow, thank God, this is the Akim I've been waiting for, was the 2018 Toronto, where you were second to one there, I think, right?
Yeah.
Very, very close show. Very close show.
Mm-hmm.
And you had come in lighter than you had been in a long time. I think you were right around 250 at that show.
Yeah, about 250. Yeah, 250. About 250.
Where you had been like 270 to 280 at a bunch of other shows, right? So I'm curious because your condition seems to be consistent now. Are you sticking around that body weight or close to it?
It's actually funny because my last showing, which was probably my best showing, was Olympia.
Yeah.
And I come in as the heaviest I ever been in a stage. Pretty much was at this 2019 Olympia. Pretty much like 2 days before the show, I was about like 278, almost 280.
Wow.
So, size is never a problem for me.
Right.
And now I'm starting to figure out that I don't need to get down to a number to come in shape. We just have to go by how I'm looking. And if that means we have to up the cardio, if that means we have to cut the calories and stuff like that, we got to do what we got to do. But I right now with my coach, we realize that we don't pay attention to the scale.
But that's interesting that you were able to figure out how to come back bigger and fuller and with that condition. I assumed you were lighter because you always look huge to me anyway. I can never really guess your weight.
This Olympia was pretty much probably the biggest I've been in a while. Not to mention I did a lot of shows last year. I went from Brazil, I went to Spain, I went to New York, Indy, Arnold. I did a lot of shows. So
yeah, 2019, you got you started with the Arnold in Ohio, ninth place there. Arnold South America, third place, and then 3 runner-ups. Big Man Weekend Pro, what's that, Portugal or Spain?
Spain.
Second place to Josh, Indy Pro, second to Steve Kuklo, and at the New York Pro, you had taken second to Juan. Not to mention, in 2018, you got another 2 runner-ups. We're backing up Toronto to Jonathan, Muscle Mayhem, and Charles Griffin. I was a pretty crappy amateur, and I took a lot of second places over the years. And I know second place is so frustrating because you're right there. The last 2 names, and you're like, please call the other guy's name. Please call the other guy's name. Oh, they just called my name, mother effer. How tough? Flex really used to say like second place is the worst place. Do you agree with that? Psychologically, is it the toughest place?
Psychologically, if you put your heart and soul into something, and that's not the outcome you were trying to get, But at the end of the day, bodybuilding is a very subjective sport, and you got to do it because it's a passion and everything like that. So you just got to pick yourself up the horse and just get back on there and keep riding, man. I don't get down, I leave it at the show. Whatever the judges decide, I leave it at the show. I don't take it home with me.
Do you ask the judges, what do I need to do? What do you want to see?
I'm never that type of bodybuilder, man. I go back to the drawing, I look at pictures, I do comparisons and stuff like that, and I go back to the gym where it's all built, and I start training. If you notice, my physique changes every time I step on stage. And this Arnold, I've definitely made a lot of improvements again. So.
Yeah, I mean, condition was always the one thing that you really needed to figure out, and you seem to have figured it out. Even your back, even at the Olympia, I noticed was a lot crisper because that's the one. It was crazy. I remember a couple shows you were just shredded from the front, legs, glutes were in, hams were all nice and dry and everything, but the back was like blurry. How did you and Oscar figure out how to really dial in your back finally?
Well, we finally, stepped away from a lot of the crazy deadlifts and stuff like that, and we do more isolation movements. So. That's been helping a lot, Plus, it's been saying like, I don't have anything to prove in terms of strength wise. I ain't got to deadlift 8 plates and do all that nonsense anymore. I'll leave that up to the younger guys that's coming up right now, Yeah. So now we're just focusing on being a bodybuilder and lifting like a bodybuilder, Yeah,
because I remember in a video you did for MHP, I think it was just a year ago. You were talking about, it was you and Oscar were talking back and forth. And you had only really, I guess, I don't know if he said it or you said it, but you had really only figured out how to train like really, truly like a bodybuilder, just like last year. Is that true?
Yes, exactly. Wow. It's very true. Like when I first got with Oscar, he couldn't believe the way I trained because he's like, dude, you're like a freaking Ferrari riding around in Honda body parts, like a Ferrari engine put into a Honda.
Wow.
That's like, you have no idea what we could do. And that's why I've been making improvements because I really haven't been training like a bodybuilder,
Yeah. Because, I mean, you used to do all these low reps. It was like, so many videos I'd see you like incline pressing 500 pounds and
Hmm.
squatting 700 pounds. It was always for just a few reps.
Hmm.
And it was very, very impressive. But I always in the back of my head said, imagine if he did like 10 to 12 reps with a little
Hmm.
less weight. I wonder what that would do for him. And
Yeah.
you do that now? You take the reps a little higher?
And
Like,
a lot higher with Oscar. You know, Oscar he's been a godsend, man. You know, I love training with him. You know, and you know, just having that one-on-one training sessions in the gym with him where we just kill it. You know, a lot of people go on the record nowadays and they say bodybuilders don't train hard, but you know, me and Oscar, we don't put a lot of our stuff out there for people to see and stuff like that. But if you ever get into that basement gym and you see the type of intensity that we have going on, it's insane, man. You know, it's insane. You know, she's trained some of the greatest champions in the world, and that same work ethic is still there. You know, and leading up to the Arnold, you know, I'm excited to see what's going to happen this coming weekend.
so how often do you head out to, where is he, in Brooklyn, Bronx?
He's actually out in Queens. I live in New Jersey right now, so about an hour and a half drive each way.
Woo.
Yeah, so it's a crazy commitment, but you know,
How many
like I
times a
said,
week you do that?
at least 4 or 5 times. Depends on how many times he wants to see me. Yeah.
Dude. So you're eating a lot of meals in your car.
Sometimes, yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna call out a few bodybuilders, but a few bodybuilders has asked to train with him in the past.
Yeah.
And when they found out like they had to make the commitment to get to his gym, they didn't do it.
Yeah. I mean, I know the ones that did. I remember Kai was there all the time.
Yeah.
Probably
No,
wasn't as far.
Evan Sandapani was one of the ones that did it, and he was coming even farther than me. He was coming all the way from Connecticut, so
Yeah.
he will tell you if you ever ask him. It's a crazy commitment, you know.
Yeah.
But when you get to the gym and you train, and the type of training style and everything like that, it's definitely worth it, you know.
So you're there 4 or 5 times a week training at his private gym, and then you also train at the very famous, most famous gym in Jersey, I think, Diamond Gym in Maplewood, right?
Yeah, I train at Diamond Gym sometimes too,
Yeah.
and sometimes I go out to Beth Francis also.
Oh, okay.
You know, so I make my rounds. You know, like Beth Francis is a little bit farther for me, but whenever I get a chance to go and train out there, you know, it's always a blessing to train in an environment like that. You know.
Yeah. Plus, if you want a condition check, Steve will tell you you're fat if you're fat. Steve, he does not pull punches. He's
No, he won't. He doesn't.
very blunt guy. Yeah. So looking at the contest history, man, it's crazy how there hasn't been that much discussion about you and the Arnold, and I have to take blame for that because I haven't done my actual prediction yet. We're doing that with Giles in a couple days, but we'll definitely be talking about you because you need to be in this conversation. You're a top 10 Olympia guy. Look at all these shows you took second at. It's crazy how some people will just point to like one show out of 5 or 6 in the year where you weren't in the best condition, and that's kind of what they want to remember. But man, you're in great shape with the other ones.
That's the biggest problem with bodybuilding.
Mm.
You always judge by your worst showing.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you bring after that. People always have that idea, like, oh, even if you're coming shredded to the bone, people always have that idea, like, oh, you never in shape. Like you look at somebody like Lionel Biaki back in 2015 or 16 it was when he did Brazil, and he was peeled, but nobody really remembers that. They always say like he has a problem with conditioning.
Well, he did that. He looked awesome at that show, and was it the Olympia Europe they did one year?
Yeah.
Where he was that was the best I think we've ever seen him. I wish I had been there, but just the pictures.
Yeah.
He's somebody, man. If he shows up, you guys are all in trouble. If he shows up in shape, I mean, he's put together. That guy's got a hell of a physique, too.
That's the one thing I would say about it. When they asked me to do this Arnold, of course I was happy to get on the Arnold stage, and then slowly but surely the lists start coming out, and I'm like, shit, like this is gonna be a fucking battle. But
this is the best Arnold
I'm excited about it, man.
When was the last time we had an Arnold lineup like this? I can't even remember.
Yeah.
I want to say maybe like 2010, the year it was Kai and Phil Heath were 1 and 2.
Probably.
Yeah, this is stacked. This is a crazy Arnold. I mean, it's bad for anybody competing in it, I guess, but man, the fans, we're loving this shit. This is awesome.
I think the competitors love it too. You're only gonna bring out the best in you if you have the competition that's willing to push you that far, So.
Yeah, I mean, this is like an Olympia lineup.
Yeah, it is.
Between Rami, Dexter, Bonac, Cedric, Victor, you. This is a ton of the top 10 Olympia guys are in this show. Yeah. This is going to be insane. I'm just curious, you did so many shows last year, Akim. Mm-hmm. You started in early March and you went all the way to mid-September. Mm-hmm. Have you figured out how to give yourself breaks? Because that seems like it would be a brutal schedule. And then you turn around, you had to get back into prep for this. You didn't have a whole lot of time to rest.
That's what I'm saying about certain people that take the whole year off and stuff like that, and they want to talk, like I said, man, I this is what I do for a living, so I have no complaints.
Yeah.
You know, when it's time to get on the horse, I get on the horse, and I put that mindset on, and I get right back into it, man.
Well, I see by the shirt you're still an MHP athlete. Awesome, of course. We actually had a video up. I don't know. Did you? I hope you've seen your own video. It was you and Victor training back.
Yeah, I remember shooting the video, but I haven't watched it yet.
Was it like 3? It was about 3 weeks ago you shot that.
I think it was about 3 weeks ago. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean I could see on the Instagram pictures you and Victor are both a lot sharper now, so I knew that had to be a while. But good video, everybody. It's up on the same channel you're watching this on. Mm-hmm. It's funny because somebody commented this isn't a real workout, and Mike Pulcinella jumps in and says, "Yeah, most real bodybuilders don't scream and throw weights around. That's just that's a display like."
Well, I mean, anybody that knows about me, they know I don't make if I'm squatting 800 pounds, deadlifting 800 pounds, I don't make a sound. You know, I don't do all that growling and stuff like that. And you know, it doesn't look as intense because we don't make all that noise, but the intensity is there, man.
I mean, you want to see loud videos. Branch and Johnny, those are some loud training videos. Crank up the volume and go for it, guys. But MHP, how long have you been with MHP now?
Well, this will be. Well, I started off with the company, of course, with Muscle Meds, and switch over to MHP. So probably about almost like 3-4 years now. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So what do you like about the company? Because I'm sure you get any top guy gets offers from other companies all the time.
I mean, I'm very close with the owner of the company. You know, he used to be a bodybuilder and everything like that. And I see him all the time. Yeah, Gerard Dente. Yeah. And I see him all the time. And just the fact that he actually still is a part of the sport and loves the sport and everything like that, it just makes you want to be a part of that family, you know, because they actually care about bodybuilding. You know, a lot of companies, you know, they get in the game and they start off of caring about bodybuilding, and later on they don't really they don't really put anything into the whole bodybuilding stuff. But this was the bread and butter that created the company. You know, like I said, the owner, he was a great bodybuilder back in the days, and he still cares a lot about the sport and everything like that. So,
I mean, he signs actual, competitor, actual top pros to contracts, whereas other companies are signing someone up on Instagram that's never been in a show. He's just got abs and spiky hair or something.
Exactly.
You know? Some girl he
cares about bodybuilding. He cares about you competing and stuff like that. So, you know.
If you had to pick 3 MHP products, Gerard says we're only going to give you 3 products from now on. Which 3 would you pick?
That depends on if I'm competing.
Okay, let's say off season and pre-contest.
So off season, I would go with the Up Your Mass. I would go to regular whey protein and maybe the BCAAs.
Okay.
But pre-contest, definitely the Hyper Crush, the Adrenaline Drive, and maybe Dark Matter for after I'm finished training.
Okay. So I haven't had Dark Matter in years, but I remember if you mix it up and leave it in the refrigerator, it basically turns to Jell-O. You could eat it with a spoon. It's still like that?
It's still similar to that, yeah. They kept it pretty much as when it first came out, you know. It's one of a lot of people's favorite, you know.
Yeah, it was tasty. But you seem like you're in good spirits. You seem like energetic, which is good because I talked to a couple guys who look like death warmed over right now.
This is just a show for the camera, man.
Yeah. No, what's funny is people try to look at your face and decide what kind of condition you're in. But I've seen you shredded to the bone, and you still don't have you never get that skull face, So I guess that's a good thing.
My face is pretty sunken in right now. If you see right here, you can see.
Well, if you'd shave all this stuff off, we could see.
Yeah.
Are you doing this beard going on Friday night? Is this going away?
Well, I posted a video yesterday, and a lot of people on Instagram was telling me keep the beard.
Okay.
So,
Did you set up a poll like vote shave or not? No shave?
Maybe I should do that. But a lot of people commented on the squat video I posted yesterday to keep the beard. So maybe something I'll think about.
Well, it's not like ridiculous and bushy. It's fine. Maybe you want to trim it. Just clean it up a little bit. I think you'd be good because
that's what our coach Oscar said. Just clean it up a little bit, then we should be good. Plus, it makes you stand out a little bit,
A little bit. I mean, it seems like more and more guys are having the little trim beards, but yeah, that's it. So cool, man. I won't take up too much of your time because you got to head off and train soon. We're really looking forward to seeing you, Akim. Olympia was a great showing, and this is a killer lineup for the Arnold, but you're going to be right there. Yeah. You're going to be one of the biggest dudes up there. I think that the 3 heaviest guys, from what I can tell, are going to be you, Kuklo, and Rami. And I know it's not about weight, but a lot of fans we go to the zoo to see the elephants and the lions and the tigers, not the chipmunks and the squirrels. I got those in my backyard. So mass is always something that appeals to a lot of people, and you've got the mass and the shape And you never had a big gut. You always had a nice little tight, small, flat midsection, which is very rare in a guy who's going to be somewhere around 270 to 275 on stage, I'm guessing.
Probably coming like around on that, maybe in the 265 to 70 range, give or take.
Whatever you look best at. That's all that counts.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what counts. Yeah.
So I want to remind everyone, please check out that video of Akim and Victor Martinez training back under Oscar Ardone's supervision. That's up on this channel. It's just released a couple days ago. Follow Akim on Instagram at IFBB Pro Akim Wiliams. Easy enough, guys. Mm-hmm. And really look forward to seeing you next week in Columbus, man. I can't wait to see what you got for us.
Oh, thank you, Ron. Appreciate it.
All right. Well, thanks for taking the time. Everybody, thanks for watching RONLINE Report. We're going to be seeing this man, Akim Wiliams, on stage next weekend in Columbus. Make sure you stick musculardevelopment.com for all the coverage. We're going to bring you so much coverage. It's going to be ridiculous. So that's it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, Ron.